in. So I just like to welcome you all along today. I hope you're well. I hope you're having a lovely day. And I hope you're ready to learn more about reducing your no-shows, that you can really start to see the difference in your practice and also in your income as well by using these features in Write-Up. So the first thing I really want to go through is your communications. So your SMS, your email, reminders, most importantly, but also just the confirmations as well when you book in an appointment. Now, the reason that these can reduce your no-shows is you probably already worked out that if you send a reminder to somebody like at least 24 hours before their booking, it means they're not going to forget, and they're not going to forget to come and turn up, especially if they've not paid. It's a really, really handy way to just remind people to come on the day. It just means you're not losing any income. What we tend to suggest is text message reminders work a little bit better than emails, purely because not everybody accesses their emails every day. I know probably you and I do, but a lot of people don't, and that most people do have their phone on them as well. Obviously, there are some people who don't access phones or emails at all, and you can just switch these communications off for those people if you want to. If they're not going to benefit from it, you can just switch it off completely. So let's dive into Write-Up then, have a really, really quick look at these communications, and we can go through and just see how these are going to work for you. So the basic idea here is that when you create an appointment, an automated email or text message or both will be sent out to your patient saying, thanks for booking in to an appointment with so-and-so at so-and-so practice. Your appointment is on this date at this time. And that will do that automatically for you. So as soon as you click into an appointment in your diary and you're booking somebody in and you click save on there, that will trigger the communications for that person, and they'll receive an email and a text message if you've got that set up. You can switch either off if you want to. You don't have to have text messages at all if you don't want to. So just bear that in mind. It is really flexible. If I go into this patient's record then, and click in their messages tab, you can see that that appointment email has been sent to them in there. And then if I go, because this is just a test patient, into the email, he's actually just received that as well. And you can see in here, I'm going to show you this a little bit later, that the pre-appointment forms that I want my patients to fill out before they come to their appointment are also enclosed within that email. It just saves another step for you. So this email has gone out to my patient. They can click in, fill in their forms before they come. Everything's done for you. You haven't actually had to do anything. All you've had to do is literally book them in. That's it. And everything else is automatically covered for you. So, but we will come on to that a little bit later on. So if I go back into my diary then, you might see in here, the text is very basic. And this is what it will be like when you first sign up for a trial with Write-Up, and they'll just automatically be sending for you, and they'll just have this really, really basic text in there. Your appointment is now. This won't even be in there. This is something I've added myself, and then it'll just say if you're unable to attend, please email us regards, and it'll bring through your practice name. You can change this text to whatever you want it to be, and let's go and see how we do that, and also set up a reminder as well. So if I go into the main menu and go into settings and then click in scheduling, this is where you'll find all the setup for your communications in here. So if you click on appointment communication, you'll see that there's a ton of ones already set up for you. They'll be in there already. You don't need to set these up from scratch. They're already there for you. They're there when you sign up for your trial. All you need to do is either delete them or edit them, or you can add more if you want to. It's really, really easy to do that. So first off, let's take a look at the really basic ones. The delivery method here is email or SMS. They're the two ways that you can send these confirmations and reminders. And we'll have a look at this email here. So this is just a single booking email that goes out in a new appointment, and that's immediately after you've booked the appointment that gets sent. So if I click in the three dots here, I can actually edit the trigger, but I can also edit the template. And we're going to do that first. We're just going to edit what we want to be sent out to our patients. So you can see in here, I've got dear, and it says first name in hashtags, your appointment is on, and it says date and time in hashtags. Now these hashtags, where this is coming from is this variable drop down in here. So this says VAR here, and what it's doing is it's pulling through information from the patient's record to automatically populate into that template, because as you know, these are automated, so they're just pinging out. You don't need to go in there and fill in the name and fill in the any other detail that you want to fill in. It will just pull that from the record that's already saved. So you don't need to do that, but it just means it's personalized as well. So you can add in anything you want in here. You just go through clicking these and it will just pull it through. It looks a bit strange. It looks like it's between hashtags and stuff. It looks weird, but actually when it's sent, you can see here, it says Dear John, and then it's pulled through the date of his appointment and the time as well in there as well. So whatever you put in there, it looks strange in the template, but it does look fine when you test it. And I would always recommend testing these out with a dummy client that's got your email address in. Just book yourself into a load of appointments, just make sure what's coming through is what you expect to come through. You can then write whatever you like in here. You can put in instructions of what they need to do before they attend, instructions where they need to go, any video call details that you want them to follow. You can put as much info as you want in there, and it's really, really good to do that in your initial email. It just gives them everything you need. You can put your terms and conditions, everything in there. You can see in here, I've got a couple of forms, my pre-appointment form and my GDPR consent form that I want them to fill in before they come. Now, to add in your forms, it's kind of backwards because we've not gone through the forms yet, but we'll go through those in a second. It's really, really simple. You're just clicking in this forms here. Any forms you've got set up that you want to send to them before they attend, you just need to click in here and insert that form, and it will just pop that in, and you can write whatever you like. Well, type it correctly. Before you attend, please fill forms, whatever you like, and then you can put in as many as few as you want in there. You'll see in here you've actually got the option to put consent forms or smart forms in, and I'll go through the difference between those in a bit. And that's it. That's set up your template for you, and then you can just click save, and any text that you've put in there will now be triggered to send out whenever you book somebody in. Now, if you did want to set up a new trigger, you just click on new trigger here. And this means that you can actually set up different email templates that are going out for different appointment types or for different reasons. So you might not want to have the same text going out for every single person. And the way to do this is you just click on new trigger, like I just clicked on there, click on method, you can click email or text message in there, and you've got the choice of all these templates, and you can set up all these templates as well. So you can, for example, if somebody booked a new video consultation, you might want to have different text that goes out with that has their video consultation information in there. So you just click that. Now, the trigger event, again, this is when your email, the different emails are going to be sent out depending on what you've booked them in for. So you can see that one I just set up was a single booking. So they've just booked one appointment. But if you've got a recurring booking, for example, in there, so they might be coming every Wednesday, you might want to set up something different text in there. Also, if they've booked online, if they've booked themselves in using online booking, again, you might want to have different text in there, telling them what to do, what to expect next, how they need to pay, whatever. And then there's a few more here, the change of appointments, the status changes, if you've just deleted that completely, and also the reminder is there as well, which I'll go through next. And then if type is, this is depending on how many appointment types you've got, you can actually set up different texts for different treatments. So you might have, for example, you might be doing a foot treatment, which is completely different from a head massage. So you might want to have different texts in those emails. Obviously, that's just a really, really basic example of different treatments that you might have. You could have loads and loads of different treatments, and the preparation that your patient needs to make in beforehand is completely different depending on that treatment. So you can actually send out different texts and emails depending on what the treatment is. So you can really actually go into a lot of detail and have a lot of reminders set up depending on how many different things you want. If you leave that blank, it'll just send out the same email to every single patient, regardless of what they book into, which treatment they have. So that's a really basic way, and I'll just leave it at that and click save. And that'll set up your new trigger for you. So let's take a look at the text messages then. These are the ones that will really reduce your no-shows. These will really help you to remind your patients that they've got an appointment. We usually say 24 hours before. Come on, let's just click back into scheduling and appointment communication. my Wi-Fi hits rock bottom when I've got Zoom on. So if you go in here, you're probably going to want to set up some text message ones that go out 24 hours before, but you can actually change when they're sent. So if you scroll down a little bit, these, as I say, will already be set up. You'll see your SMS reminders in here. Your appointment reminder will be the template that you use, and then you can actually change the offset for reminders. You can't do it for confirmations. You can only do it for reminders. Do bear that in mind. And you can see here, I've got a couple to be sent one day before and one's going out 2 hours before. So you can set up as many as you want as well. You could have them like constantly reminding people, or you could just have one. One's probably enough. So if I go into my text message here, reminder for an appointment one day before, if I click in edit trigger, you can see here, I've actually got this extra option down the bottom that says when, and I can change when I want that to go. But as I say, I would always usually advise one day before is usually enough, and a text message, they're looking at their phone, so they're going to see it. Again, if you wanted to change what the text message says, go into edit template. It's really basic. It just says a reminder, this person has an appointment on this date at this time, and it says do not reply to this message. They can't reply. If they do, it doesn't go anywhere. You won't receive it. So just make sure that they don't reply to it. Also, it's worth bearing in mind this section here. Just make sure you're only using 1 credit per reminder, because if you're using more than one, you're kind of wasting your text credits, and you do need to buy these. These are an optional add-on to your subscription, and you will need to buy these extra credits. Again, in your template, you can click on variables in here, and you can add whatever information you want to pull from the patient's record into there. So that's really, really easy to do. Now, if you do want to buy extra credits, that's really, really easy to do as well. If you go into the main menu and go down to your account details tab, this will take you to your account, and here you can top up on SMS credits and video minutes as well. In there, you just need to buy more. When you click buy more, you can just buy them in bulk, in batches. So you can buy 50 up to 5,000, and you can pay by your card or by PayPal for those as well. So it's really easy to top up on them. Emails are free, so you don't need to worry about those. If you do only want to send emails, then you don't need to worry about topping up anything. They're completely free. But I would always generally advise that you do have a text message reminder that goes one day before. It will really cut down on your no-shows. It should save you a lot of time, and also should improve your income as well. Just meaning that nobody's going to miss that appointment. So that's your automated communications. They're really nice and easy to set up. You'll see they're already there. If you don't want to use any, you can actually just delete them. So you can't switch them on and off. You just need to completely remove them, and then they all just disappear. If I click in the 3 dots here and click delete, that will just delete that trigger, and it will stop sending it out. So you might see that at the bottom of the list, the ones that have already been set up for you when you signed up for your trial, these ones down here, you might not need them. Say if you're not using, for example, WriteUp's video consultation feature, just delete those. There's no point having them in your list. I always find that it makes it quite confusing to see loads and loads of things in there. It's nicer to just see the templates and the triggers you're actually using in there. So that's worth bearing in mind there. So I think that is triggers. I'm just trying to think if there's anything else that I need to go through. I don't think there is on those. Yeah, text messages, emails, you're all set. If you do want to have a look in your templates, you can go down here, email templates and SMS templates as well. If I click into the SMS templates, for example, it'll just give me a list of all my templates, the different ones that I've got set up, depending on what kind of appointment they're coming to, or whether it's a changed appointment, a deleted appointment, whatever. You can set up as many templates as you want, and you can edit them and delete them in here as well. The one thing I did want to show you is if you, for example, you have a client who doesn't want to receive these notifications, you can actually switch these off. So when you're if you've just set up your client, or if you've got an existing client, you want to switch these off, just click in edit details under contact information in the client's record. And then all you need to do is opt them out. That'll just make sure that they don't get any more email communications for that patient. Everybody else will still get them, but this one just won't. So that's quite handy if you've got, for example, somebody who doesn't even use email or phone. You're not going to want to send them stuff, waste credits on those people if they're not picking up any text messages. Also, somebody might just say, I really don't, I would rather you didn't. You can just opt them out, obviously. So you can just do that there and then click Save Changes when you're done. If you did want to opt somebody out on the appointment side, so for example, just for one appointment they're making, they don't need to or want to receive any communications, you can do that there as well. When you click in the appointment in the diary, you'll see here communications, you can just mute that, and then that will just switch them off for that one appointment only. But it'll keep them on. It'll mean that this patient's opted in for everything else. It's just for that one appointment, I've switched them off. There may be a time that you want to do that as well. So there are a couple of options there. Okay, so that's the communications side of things, the automated communications side of things. Let's jump in and look at some smart forms, get those set up. My cat, get those set up for you so that you can send these out as well, and you can automatically send these as well to your patients. Okay, right. Again, we're going into the main menu and we're going down into settings. And we're going to click into assessments this time. Now, if you've never used smart forms before, you won't have anything in here. It will just be blank. So you either need to create a new assessment form from scratch, or you can use one of our pre-built templates, which is a really, really easy way to do it. They're already set up for you. You can edit those, you can add questions, you can take things out, you can do whatever you like to it, really. So if you want to go into our pre-built forms list, you'll say here, it says here, you can choose from our pre-built forms by clicking here, and you just click there, and then you'll see there's a great big list. And there's loads of different ones depending on what speciality you're working in. So you may see some that pop out at you. For example, there's the GAD-7 there for counsellors and psychotherapists in there. There's loads in there. But the one I want to show you is the registration form. Now, this is the really, really basic reg form. So like a pre-appointment form when you want to take somebody's details, their sign-up, their personal details, their contact details, their next of kin, and then you want it to just automatically populate their record so that you're not having to type up their record for them and get that information and then manually type it in. It just really cuts out on your admin. This one is a great one to use. So registration form here, click on the 3 dots and just add that to your favorites, and that will put it into your assessments list that you can then start sending out to your patients. If I go back into my assessments tab, you'll see here it's registration form there. It's now in there. And the problem with this is I can only preview it. I can send this out to my patients if I want to as well, but I can't actually edit anything on this form. So you can see here, there's my preview. This is what the patient would fill in, all this information. I might want to actually put some extra information or questions at the bottom of this form. Maybe I want to put my terms and conditions in there, and then they actually physically sign the form at the bottom. You can do that as well. So what you need to do is first duplicate that form. So again, click on the 3 dots and click duplicate. It will come up with, it'll just say copy and the number of copies that you've made. You can rename that if you want to, and then just click save. And then this will then allow you to click in the 3 dots and click edit. Now you're going into the edit view of the form, which can look a little bit scary. So that each question basically is one of these blocks. So you can see here, title, first name, surname, date of birth, gender, home address, etc. If you want to see what that actually looks like, you can click on preview, and then it kind of puts it into a form format for you, so you can see it easily. So I quite like that. If you're going to build a form, just click between preview and build so that you can see what it's looking like, and then back to build to add any more in. Let's add another field then in here. If I click on add new field, you can see these field types that I'm able to add in. So you can just put text boxes and paragraph boxes, single choice, excuse me, single choice, multiple choice, and options lists you can add in. There's that signature I was talking about in there. So you can just have a signature in there, an import button as well. Annotation is basically you can upload an image and they can draw on it. So for physios, that's great. Headings is just putting a heading in to separate out your form. Helper text, what that means is you can put in a box with your own text in there that they can't edit. So it's basically like if you wanted to give them some instructions on the form, or if you just wanted to write something, whatever you can put in there, you can put helper text in. It's quite nice if you want to create a smart form for your terms and conditions or GDPR, instead of using the consent form option. You can do that using the helper text. You can just put all your terms and conditions in using helper text boxes. A horizontal line is exactly what it is. It's just a line that divides the form. You can put the date box in there as well. And also these are the smart fields. And these fields are the ones you want to use for a pre-appointment intake form. What this means is the smart fields is you'll have options like name, surname, date of birth, and things like that. They'll fill them in. And then what you can do once they filled that form in and sent it back to you is that you can then click an import button and it will just import that information straight into their record. So you don't have to go in and type it all up. It's just a really, really easy way. And I'll show you how that works. So if I was, for example, put signature in, please sign below. That's what I'm going to call it. Finish editing. If I go back into, oh, my Zoom is in the way. If I go back into the preview, you can see here that I've added that extra box in there. And then once you're happy and you've edited it and you've created your form how you want it to look, just click in publish and exit. And then that's saved and it's ready for you to send. So if you haven't set these up in your communications, as we did earlier, so if you haven't got those already in there, you can actually manually send these out to your patients. And it's really, really easy to do. You just go up to create, form assessment, and then you'll see here your list of forms that you've created or saved. I'm going to send my pre-appointment form, and I'm going to click under the smart form option here because I want it to be sent electronically to my patient for them to fill in online. I don't want to print off a PDF and then have them send it back to me. It's a faff. Click on this arrow here, and then you can send it either to your patient or to another third party that you've got saved against this patient's record, but I'm just going to send it to my patient. You can send a message and you can pop a little template in there. So this is just what I want to say, and then click send. I'll just wait for that to come through. There we are. So this goes through instantly to your patient. Obviously, they might actually have it in their automated communication. But if you're sending it manually, this is how it will look. And they just click here to open the form. Now it's a secure form. So what they need to do is insert a text message code to confirm that it's them accessing the form. They'll get sent a text message with that code in that I've received. I'm just going to pop that code in there so we can see how it works. 680562. And then they just need to unlock that form. And then you'll see here that they can just start filling it in, and it's really, really easy for them to do. So this is what your patient will see. That won't be our logo, that will be your logo. That's just the logo I've used in my sites that I've set up. So they just need to put their info in here. See, it's just really, oh, for goodness sake, it's really, really easy for them to set up. There's the date that they can, the date box that they can fill in. This is just some info, like different fields, examples that they can put in there, right? And then they just click save. So when they fill that all in, they click save. They cannot go back into that form once they've submitted it. So once it's submitted, it's locked to them, and you're the only person that can see it. They just click continue, and then that's done. Now, back in Write Up, you'll see you'll have some notifications in the top right-hand corner. Direct message has been accessed. So this means that John Applesea's opened his form, and also that it's been completed, and you can see that he's done it and he's submitted it. And you'll see here there's this little import button here. Now, if I click on that import button, this modal will appear. It'll say the current information, what I already have in his record, and then the updated information is what John's put in there. Now, you can make all the fields mandatory in your form so that they cannot submit it without putting this information in. So that's usually what people would do. It just means that they have to fill in that info. And then once you're happy with that, you can make sure all these are ticked down the right-hand side and just click import. And what that's done is it says fields imported. If I go into John Applesea's record, it will have it's put in all the information that he's added into his record. So you can obviously have in here all of this information in your smart form that's then automatically imported into their record. So they're essentially doing the work for you. The form's sent out in an automated email communication to them. They'll open that up, they'll fill it in, they'll submit it back to you. It automatically comes back and saves into their record. And then you just need to click import and all the information is put in there. So actually all you've done in that whole process is book somebody an appointment in their diary and then access their form and clicked import. And that's it, everything's done. Now that I'm in his record, if I go into the forms and assessments tab, you can see there's that form that he created, that he's submitted in there, and I can open that form now. You can see here, it'll just add what he's put in. Now, what you could do, and what quite a lot of people do, is add in at the bottom of a form and a for office use only, for official use only section. You could just add a text or a paragraph box at the bottom, and it just means you can write any notes in there that you want to write. In the smart form here as well, there's a few options down the bottom. You can view the version history. So any changes that have been made to that form, you can have a look at in there. You can lock that form so that if you've got multiple clinicians that use your write-up site, you can lock it so that nobody else can edit that form now, and it's completely locked to all edits. You can print it. You can also email that. So if you wanted to email it to their GP, you can do that securely there. You can direct message it. Now, what that means is it will be emailed, but it will be, they'll have to receive a text message code to be able to open that form. So that's just a really secure way of emailing that form out to somebody, which is probably a good idea if you're emailing out forms that contain really, really personal information. So if you are sending that to a GP, to any third party, it's definitely worth sending it the direct message pathway. And then at the bottom, you'll see again this smart import button. And then, so if you do access the form and then you want to import all the information into their records, you can click it there, and you can also delete that form as well. You can just save and exit that if you've made any changes, and that's done. So that's pretty much it for me today. That's just us on half an hour there. If you do have any questions on smart fields, smart forms, or on automated communications, please do grab us for a live chat. You'll see the button in the bottom right-hand corner there. It will pop up. We are there Monday to Friday, 9 to 5, and we're always happy to have a chat with you, whatever it is. So any questions that you have, please do get in touch with us. We'll get back to you in a couple of minutes or so. And if it's out of our working hours, then just send us a message anyway, and we'll pop you back with an email the next day. Also, in the top right-hand corner of your write-up screen, there's a little question mark. You can go up here. This will take you to our help center. And if you did want to go in here and look up, for example, smart form, how to create a smart form is the top one there. We've got tons and tons of articles in here. You can browse through, you can go through and see what you want to do. It literally talk you through step by step how to create these things. If you can't find these, again, please do get in touch with us on the chat, and we'll be happy to send you any of these help center articles. We also have some videos in there as well. They're on YouTube. You can find them in our YouTube channel, or most of them are in our help center, so you can just go in and watch a video in there as well. If you want a recording of this webinar as well, also please do get in touch with us on the live chat, and we'll be happy to send you a recording that you can watch, because I know it goes really, really quickly, squeezing it all into half an hour. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed today's webinar. If you do want to come along to any other webinars, then please do go to the main menu, scroll down to join a webinar, and you can browse through our collection of webinars, and you can register to as many or as few as you want to. Sorry, my cat again. And I hope you have a lovely day, and I really do hope to see you along on one of our webinars again in the future. Bye, everybody. Have a good one. See you later.